Hi, this is Candace Foxx from South Texas Bodybuilding and Fitness Organization. This is episode 3. So we have a special guest here. We have Terrance Wright. Would you say Houston, Texas, or where?
I'm from Houston. I've been in Houston long enough.
Okay, because I know it's all these little cities that are together, you know, so just wanted to
all
clarify.
together, maybe 26 years here in Houston.
Okay,
probably a little
nice,
bit more.
nice.
Try not to keep too many, keep
Yeah,
tabs on
it
them.
is a big place, you know, there's so many different areas and stuff like that. So we're here to talk to Terrance about, you know, what brought him into fitness, how long we've known each other, and we've been in the fitness industry together, and we've worked together a few times. A couple things with training with him, you know, I was able to create some good things for him that helped him out when he needed it. And he's gonna talk about one of his clients that he was able to change her life as well. So we're gonna be speaking to her after we talk exclusively to Terrance right now. So we'll go ahead and begin. And the first question we have here is basically what inspired you to get into fitness?
I mean, even I can remember, there's probably one particular moment when I was really young. I had a PE teacher who kind of took a liking to me, and periodically whenever we went to like phys ed and it got to the point where they was pointing at the anatomy on our bodies, she would always use me to demonstrate.
Oh,
she would
wow.
always bring me up to the front of the class and either point out like my calf. I remember my calf specifically.
Were your fellow students mad all the time because you were the center of attention?
No, I don't think I was very, very like egotistical about it. I think
good,
it was,
good.
you know, I was because she was pointing it out. I didn't know it was there.
And having calves, that's a genetic plus, man. And my calves are so small. I've worked so hard for them. So go on ahead.
But yeah, I mean, really since then, I felt like maybe I was always kind of health conscious.
Okay.
Played a bunch of sports, football, baseball, ran track on the off season.
Oh, nice.
Did weights, all those. But it wasn't necessarily I was trying to, I had a goal. It was just something that I did. I was always riding bikes or always being fit.
Always active.
And I was trying to get my friends to join.
Oh, nice.
So, and
nice.
you know, and anybody who trains knows that, you know, getting your friends to join is it's a challenge in itself.
Yeah, because they're like, just because you're doing it doesn't mean I'm into it and all that stuff. But usually when they start seeing the positivity that starts coming out, then they eventually want to join. Yeah. You know? But
I think it didn't turn into more of the business side of it till after I got out of the military. And, you know, I feel like when you're in fitness, you always find yourself helping somebody.
Okay.
And you're always motivating somebody in some way, whether it's through the mental aspects of getting your physical fitness on.
Yes.
Because I think a lot of times that's the biggest plateau is, can you mentally prepare yourself to go do some exercise? Can you show up?
Yeah.
And you know, getting them past that mental part is just saying I can do it.
Exactly. And then it's like that getting them out their comfort zone, because everybody wants to hug on the bed and not get up super early or after work. When they get out of work, they're tired. They don't want to go right after to go train. But once you teach them the importance of it and they start seeing those changes, the brain comes with it after that.
Yeah, they start to crave it a little bit.
Exactly.
So maybe not a lot, but you know, it's in
gradually
steps.
Gets better.
And then they say, hey, guess what? I got a curve right here. Like, I told you had a curve there. So, you know, they start to crave it more.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the fitness that I really enjoy is seeing somebody else.
When they start clicking.
Right. And that light switch goes off and this, I can do this. And shit, I like how this feels. I don't like it, but I like it. So
yes.
It's very gratifying.
Nice,
all the things that I've done, you know, and sometimes you deal with people and they don't like it. But once you get them past that, I don't like it, and I still appreciate you part, and it's, you know, it's a priceless.
Yeah, I tell them at the beginning, you're probably not gonna like me the first 2 weeks, but you gotta get over those 2 weeks, and if you just follow everything I tell you, I can wave that magic wand like the fairy godmother. If you're not following what I tell you, you're handicapping me. I mean, you're putting my hands behind my back.
You're gonna make these workouts real hard.
Exactly, you know, and who's not gonna get the results? I'm always gonna be fit. You're So don't sabotage yourself. Don't rip yourself off, because I'm gonna be that old lady all fit in the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're not gonna hurt my feelings with your poor eating.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know.
I tell them the same thing. I recently had, and that's my thing too, that kept me with training and stuff like that. Because, I mean, yeah, eventually you probably could make a lot of money from training and stuff, like some of these viral influencers and stuff. Yeah. But it takes a little time for the rest of us. So you got to find the love in it somewhere else than trying to make it rich, you know? Right. Eventually you'll make a good living off of it. But I recently had a client that was like, Candace, guess what? And she's like 66, right? Okay, yeah. Guess what? And I'm like, what's going on? I could do a jumping jack. And on the screen, she does it. And I'm like, that's great. Because all this time we were doing the side tap jumping jacks. Exactly. And this lady was so deconditioned that when we first started, and it's virtual, right? Because of the COVID and stuff, I had to keep her mostly on the floor first before we did standing up stuff, you know, because she would get dizzy and all those other things. Now I have her stand up, do an exercise, lay down, do an exercise. Stand up, because making her get up and get down, you know, that's part of the workout. But she was so happy that she did a jumping jack. She just couldn't believe it. It's been so long. I think it was, she told me it was since probably in her late 20s. Wow. That she did something like that.
It's the little things, though.
Yeah, and that just makes you feel so great and accomplished as a trainer. So I totally agree with you on that part. So I know that you are a model. I mean, and that's how we met, because you were down in South Padre Island.
Doing a promotion for
so tell
Corona.
us about that. How did all that stuff get started?
So since I can remember, I've always done ambassador promotions, liquor promotions. So at the time where we met, so long ago.
Was that 2010?
Before the gray.
Was that 2010, I think? I was trying to remember how far back that was.
I think so.
I think so too. Because I was like, was that 2013? I'm like, no, because I don't think I was competing yet. I think I was fit, but I was gonna start competing. So I think that was 2010. Yeah.
And doing the promotion out there for Corona. And Crystal Beach. So and this is at the time, this is when Crystal Beach just looks crazy. 10,000 people on the beach, and you know, we're out there pulling the tote Coronas, throwing them at people. To people, not at people, but.
Man, and that's a lucky job to have. I wished I had stuff like that where I could just be, hey, look at me, and then the bottle of beer. So I mean, that's awesome, right? You know? Yeah. So and how's that gone since the whole promotion stuff? Like, what other type of more exclusive things like clothing, modeling, stuff like that? Because I've seen some of your pictures, and it looks like you're modeling for brands and stuff too.
Well, I'm a firm believer, to answer your question. Okay. It's been going pretty good. But the picture that you saw, so I'm a firm believer in promote your friends, help your friends. Yeah. And that's actually a friend of mine's clothing line. Okay. That he has put out. So whenever he gives me a call and say, hey, can you come model this? Or can you I'm like, man, I got you. Nice. So I mean, I'm big on working together. So that's like, you know, within the community, within training. Like nobody wants to work together. So I'm like, if I get an opportunity, if I can help you and it don't put me in a position or whatever, I got you. Exactly, because that establishes a business relationship, because you help them, they're gonna refer you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes one person, and this is marketing 101. It takes one person to tell 75 people whether you're great or you don't work with that person. And you rather than be lying about don't work with that person, you know? Right. So you always want it to be the positive stuff. So that's awesome, you know, because there's a lot of people, at least in my area, McAllen, that for some reason they think they're Beverly Hills. So when you try to start your own type of brand or clothes and stuff, you get people like, oh no, I only wear Nike, or well, you're never gonna model for Nike. I'm sorry to tell you this. I'm actually offering you something that Nike would never gonna offer you. Yeah, Nike's not gonna let you keep none of that. No, none of that, you know what I'm saying? So that's awesome that you're helping other people build their brands as well, you know? Well, taking pictures with friends, promoting their business. Started my own fitness clothing line, so. Oh, really? What is it called? Well, it's King's Reserve. Okay. So King's Reserve online. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook. Nice. But it's all athletic wear. Okay. It's not completely culture one-sided, but it's everything from king and queen shirts, melanin and fitness, leggings for the ladies, t-shirts and tanks for the guys.
Just don't be putting in the fake butts when you're taking the pictures for those, please. They just exposed that not too long ago. I don't know if you've seen that, where they show those leggings that's supposed to already enhance the glutes, right?
No, this doesn't have the scrunch, so it does enhance the butt, but there's no fake pieces in there.
Yeah, the girls are actually wearing fake pieces to make the butt even look more.
Yeah, I've seen those.
So just please don't do that.
No.
Because if your brand is good and your clothing is good, and I'm sure you being a model, you know what good fabric is and all that stuff. I mean, the stuff will sell itself, and you just keep on promoting it.
And I'm big on, you got to be comfortable while you work out. If you're not comfortable, you're not going to get those extra reps in, so.
Yeah, and you got to like what you're wearing, too, because I know when I get new clothes, I'm just like,
right, when you get that extra new gym shirt, like, you got some extra reps.
Hell
you're
yeah.
like, I got this new gym clothes.
And then taking those pictures in the mirror, got my new gear on, all that, flossing and stuff. So yeah, that's awesome. So clothing, modeling for your friends.
Yeah, got a part in a movie.
Yeah. I didn't know if it was a movie or was it reality TV or what was it? Describe that to us.
I just got casted in a part for a movie called Halloween Party. It's a horror thriller. I'm Mr. Stevens.
You're not dying first, are you?
They haven't told me if I win or if I'm gonna die.
Okay.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
I feel like I might be able to talk my way out of that.
He opens the door and like.
I don't want to be that guy.
I'm just messing with you.
But if they pay me, I'll die.
Hey, you're gonna be on that film forever, even if it's just a little bit. But if you actually get a whole lines and all that stuff, or maybe even survive the whole thing, that would be awesome. Because that's so much more time that you're on camera.
Yeah. So hopefully I survive.
Yeah.
So Halloween Party, doing some commercials.
And when is that? Do you think it's gonna come out?
They haven't given us a date. We're gonna start shooting in April and then a little bit in March.
So probably in about a year it'll be out.
Hopefully. Well, I'm thinking before Halloween.
Okay.
So.
Cool.
So hopefully before Halloween.
Well, that's gonna be awesome.
Put me on the big screen.
Yeah.
Working with some boxers, so we've been traveling a little bit.
Good.
So usually we're in here.
Yeah.
During the week, on the weekend, doing boot camps and stuff. And,
Yeah, I've seen your videos. Your clients look like they're really having a good time.
We try to, even when it's even this time of year, I feel like everybody feels the cold and they want to run, but like, oh no, it's cold.
Yeah.
But we have our ride or dies and my day ones that they show up no matter what.
Nice. Well, I mean, you make them feel great, so that's why they look forward to coming to train with you, because a lot of clients, they tell me that they're like, I come to train with you because you make me feel good. Yeah. I'm like, well, that's what I'm here for. I'm not supposed to be making you feel bad. I mean,
from time to time, you got to.
You're messing up.
Right.
Like, yeah, you cheating on your food, guess what? That's why you gained the weight. Because I reassess my clients every week, and once we see a discrepancy, I'm like, okay, so what's going on here?
And then
well, it's because my family, yeah, your family came in, but you don't got to be eating what they're eating, or at least if you know that, say if it's a special dinner,
I always say plan ahead.
I told you, because the new fasting stuff is in,
Right.
I'm like, you can fast all day. Get yourself some strong black tea or something like that, and then go have that 5-course meal, and that's all your calories for the day if you really have to be at that dinner. Or if you're gonna know that you're gonna eat bad but a little bit, just keep it low carb all day, and then you can have that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Do I have to be disciplined? You mean I have to do this all the time?
Yeah. Yes. And then when the weight comes back.
In the beginning, yes, you do. You mean I have to track it?
Yes.
Do you already know what it is? Then yes, you do.
Yes. I tell them, I'm like, just track it to where you already start visually knowing the sizes of your food.
Right.
And then maybe in about 4 to 6 weeks, you'll plateau. And then when I give you your new numbers, then just start tracking it the first 2 weeks.
Then you just have to tweak it a little bit.
It's a little bit. So then you already adjust it to what you need, and then you don't have to track anymore. And then they start getting it, and then they're like, oh, okay, this is great. Wow, I could have a lot more than what I thought I could have. I'm like, that's why I kept on telling you to track your macros. You're over here thinking you gotta
struggle for other days too?
Oh man, that's hilarious when they think they have to eat bland food too. I'm just like, it doesn't have to be
please
boiled
put some
chicken,
seasoning on it.
Boiled chicken. Yeah, it's crazy.
And then I have some clients that just do better on shakes. So some like you don't want to cook. You can't cook.
Yeah.
Oh, you feel some type of way about cooking. Okay. Not that you can't cook or you don't want to cook, you just feel some type of way.
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
I had this one lady that she had the night syndrome that basically she didn't eat all day, like just no appetite, but she was able to do all her work and everything like that. And at night, that's when she would eat everything, but she would eat all the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, I was told that I have to eat 6-7 times a day and I just don't eat like that. I'm just not hungry. And I'm like, you don't have to eat like that. You just got to get your calories. Really? I'm like, yes. I'm like, that's why you need to talk to a real nutritionist so they can tell you that. You know, I'm not a clinical nutritionist, but I'm a certified nutritionist. So when I taught her that, finally she started losing the weight she wanted. She didn't feel bad about that she couldn't eat all these little small meals in between. I'm like, if you can't do it, it's okay. It's just all about getting your numbers.
Get your numbers right.
Exactly, exactly.
But if you don't know your numbers, that means you got to track them. At least in the beginning, so you have some kind of idea. It doesn't take that long to at least, you know. I tell them the first week or two, and then you start understanding what you're supposed to eat. Or you'll remember what it is.
Exactly.
So, you know.
All right, so let's first talk about the Phil Heath first before we talk about the injury, okay?
Okay.
So, do you remember the evening where you were assisting me with 2 athletes at the 2015 Phil Heath bodybuilding show and the drama that occurred with Lee Thompson?
I do. That was one of my first shows I ever really.
And then it was drama the first show.
and the first time, you know, we're walking through the halls, and you know, you're speaking to people and you know, helping people, and we're trying to get to your 2 clients. And I look around and somebody, and I remember it's like seeing somebody snatch you and I hear your voice and I'm like, you know, what's going on? Yeah. And they would not let you back there. Yeah. And I remember they were trying to keep you from the clients and I was back there in the back I was like, I don't know what you want me to do. But.
Well, the good thing was that I thought about you to be my assistant because maybe something in the back of my mind just, I don't know, I didn't maybe unconsciously knew because I didn't know drama like that was gonna happen. And to at least fill you guys in, originally when I first started competing, I was with the INBF. That's a natural federation. And since at that time, I guess I had too much muscle. So they basically told me I should go check out NPC because I was very muscular at the time, you know, and that's not the look INBF was looking for. So I started with NPC, did very well, and I got all the way to Team Universe. I placed 11th for my first time in Team U, but I figured out when I was there that it wasn't for me to get my pro card as an IFBB pro. So I went back to natural shows, and that same year, that was 2014, I got my first natural pro card in female physique. After that, 2015 came in, the Phil Heath was in March. I had 2 competitors that wanted to compete in that show, and just because I left the NPC does not mean I'm not gonna train clients that wanna do NPC shows. I love bodybuilding, I love the whole thing about training competitors, teaching them how to pose, all that stuff when they win their trophies. So I'm not over here biased about what federation people wanna compete in. But apparently some people, and I'm sure it's very well known that NPC is very territorial, you know? So when I had my clients there was some weird things going on where I noticed they were trying to keep my clients out of the lineup, you know? And when I noticed that, I questioned the expediter, why were they leaving my clients out? And before he could answer, I grabbed my girls and I stuck them in place where they needed to be. So they made their prejudging stage time. Now, once the day show ended, or prejudging, that's when the time when Terrance came in and I was going over him some things that we were gonna do with the girls. He was really supposed to do very little that day. He wasn't supposed to do a lot, you know? And I got called in because supposedly the trainers can go in early because I had a trainer's pass. And when I walked in there, the security guard let me in. I walked in, turned around the corner, next thing you know, someone grabbed me by my jacket and dragged me down the hallway. Yeah. And when I got dragged down the hallway, I got thrown in this room where there was Lee Thompson and several of the other NPC Texas judges. basically telling me that they were gonna make an example of me because I had quit NPC, you know? And luckily, by the grace of God, whatever they thought they were gonna do got debacled because my phone happened to be recording everything.
Ain't God good?
Yes, and because my phone started recording everything and I brandished my phone, they basically had to let me go. And that's when I reached out back to Terrance that I was getting kicked out of the show and he needed to take over making sure my clients got to their placings in the night show, and I would be basically directing them through text messages on the phone while I was banished to the room.
Banished somewhere.
Banished to the room. So yeah, that was pretty crazy that happened because I have to say that NPC never paid for none of my shows. I was never sponsored by them. They never gave me any money, nothing for them to try to jump me and make me into an example. But even though that happened, it didn't give me a bad taste in my mouth in bodybuilding because I was so good at, creating competitors and stuff that I'm still gonna, if someone's gonna come and want me to coach them, I'm still gonna coach them, you know? So I think these people, once they thought that they kicked me out of NPC, which I had left them last year, I was already gone.
Right.
I guess they didn't know I was gonna become this.
And here we are.
And here we are today, And I do have to say this, even though Lee Thompson was involved in that, we did, when he started his NSL federation, I actually took an athlete to his show and I didn't confront him, but I went up to him and I'm like, hello, Mr. Thompson, you remember me? And he kind of bashfully yes, I remember you. And I'm like, yeah, we have some things we got to talk about, But I'm gonna tell you this, Mr. Thompson, I know it's not your fault because I know you didn't even know who I was. And I know that because, why would Lee Thompson, the chair of Texas, be trying to beat me up?
Right.
And he pretty much confessed to me that it wasn't his idea, that somebody basically told him that I was over here doing all this ridiculous stuff and behind the show. So of course, of the owner of the show, you don't want someone.
Right. You're gonna go with the flow on that.
You're gonna listen to your people and you're gonna get rid of the problem. So I don't blame him for doing what he did because he was obviously lied to. And I have to say that we had a great conversation. My competitor did really well at his show. It's been a couple years now that we haven't talked, but before that, we would talk from time to time. He's really not as bad as a lot of people have perceived him, but I can imagine me being at my big, huge show and they're telling me that, oh, there's this crazy person there causing all these problems. I probably wouldn't have did the Scooby-Doo route, oh, this is what we're gonna do to you and all this stuff. But I would have kicked out that person myself, So, I don't blame him, but, we were able to squash our issues and all that stuff. And my girls, one of them placed, the other one did pretty well too. They got their trophies. Terrance did a great job handling them. Even though
I did what I could. So,
yeah, I was basically giving you instructions.
Right, through text message.
Through text message and stuff, so you wouldn't be totally lost, But that was nuts. And honestly, I have to tell you, it actually made me where man, if they're gonna get all this firepower against me.
Right, that gave you that fire.
Hell yeah.
Set a fire under you, you'd be like, okay.
That's what people don't understand. And at least, I guess it's me. When you mess with me and I see that I'm a threat to you, it only gives me more energy to keep on going where I'm going because I must be something good for this big, huge person to feel threatened by little old me,
Yeah.
I must be doing something right. And sure enough, I got my own bodybuilding show. It's called Clash at the Border. We're having our second one, June 25th, 2022. I'm the co-director of Texas now for the IFBB Physique America, So yeah, it was destined to be where I'm at, and it's only going to continue to grow. Going to have another show in Brownsville, Texas, in 2023.
Wow.
Yeah.
Staying busy.
We're having a show here in Houston called the Brazos River Showdown.
Okay.
October 1st.
Yeah, I think
So
I have
maybe-
a friend that might be competing in that.
Yeah, maybe if you have some people that want to do it, it's an amateur show, so it's a
Okay.
great show for them to start off, get their feet wet,
Yeah.
you know, so they don't feel so intimidated by being in this huge show that there's all these, you know, egos. And they're
Right.
like all like deers in headlights, you know? And that's what you want to do. Like whenever you start coaching competitors, you don't want to throw them to the lions, man. You
Right.
want to get them in the small
Let
little
them get
show
their feet wet.
so they could loosen up and so they could get their footing. And then once they start,
Yeah.
you know, getting more relaxed and they look like competitors, then you throw them to the big shows, you know? So maybe you
get
guys...
them in there with people like them.
And if you guys can't get any competitors, if you want to come check out the show, volunteer, maybe you can even become a judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
down.
probably test judge there.
Okay.
Test judging it has to be for free,
Right.
but once they see that you know what you're doing and you know what to look for, after that, we pay you for your hour being there. And if we need you to travel, we take care of your hotel.
Hey. I like it.
Awesome.
Right.
So let's go on to the next thing. So the injury, okay? So what
injury.
happened? How did that happen? And what happened? What type of injury was it?
I'll start off by saying, make sure you stretch. But and this was probably right around,
I think it was 2016, right after the Phil Heath.
I thought it was a little bit before.
Do you think?
I think so. I
'cause
think it was
I have all
closer
the
to 14.
pictures. Because I have all the pictures, so,
Okay.
you know. Because I know we were with Maggie and she competed. So I think it was right after the Phil Heath.
Maybe so.
Yeah, because Maggie was the
Well,
one.
because there was a year, that's right.
Yeah.
That it was, because there was a year period where I was still waiting to get the surgery.
Yes.
So, anyway, what had happened is I was bench pressing and I was third
Horsing
set. And I wasn't maxing out. I felt comfortable, but it's one of those things where you should probably listen to your body. And I thought I felt something, but I kind of ignored it.
Okay.
Got to my 12th rep on my third set, and I'm pushing it, and it just literally popped.
Wow.
And luckily I was on the Smith machine, so it didn't just plop on me.
Yeah.
Two guys helped it off of me, and immediately that shit was on fire.
Yeah.
So completely popped the tendon for my pectoral muscle.
Okay.
Well, there might have been like a thread or something hanging on there, but not anything even enough to try to save. So ended up, I didn't have insurance at the time. So when that happened, it almost took me, actually it did take me about a year to get the surgery.
Yes.
So in the process of that tendon deteriorated, retracted to where they ended up having to use a donor's Achilles tendon to replace that tendon.
Okay.
And even then, so the recovery, a year, couldn't really, I could probably pick up stuff with my bicep, but no pressing, couldn't shoot pool. And that muscle in itself was just, I mean, it just hadn't been used. And over a year wasn't using it.
Yeah.
Therapy was minimal. And then just that process of waiting so long to get that surgery. It's just a lot of muscle atrophy.
Okay.
So in that, got the surgery, probably another 6 months, started working on it. And that's when I reached out to you. And I knew you're excellent in your expertise.
Thank you.
I've seen your results with other clients, and I've known you for such a while. And between your character and your vibe, you're just someone who I felt like I could reach out to. For help.
Yes.
And that's when you had set me up with your online program, and I was going through that.
We worked together, like 8-9 weeks?
Yeah.
Something like that? Yeah, because see, the thing was when he had his surgery, and like you said, that tendon had deteriorated. So when the doctor put it back on, I didn't know about the whole tendon part, but I was like, man, did he go to a plastic surgeon or what? Because his pec literally looked like a titty. It didn't look like a pec anymore, And when it looked like that, did that affect your modeling and stuff? Did it,
Actually, it didn't.
Okay, good. So you just started posing on one side, maybe, so you wouldn't show that part?
Well, on the modeling side, very very rarely.
Are you topless?
Are you top?
Oh, okay, cool.
Now, that being said, depending, and more of it's going to be me than an average person looking at me who doesn't know
Okay.
where the symmetry may or may not be.
Okay.
So for myself, I can do auditions and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And for the most part, it's not noticeable.
Okay.
But depending on the shirt,
Yeah.
the way the light hits it.
Yeah.
It was more something that was more self-conscious for me. I felt
Okay.
self-conscious about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you were pretty depressed.
I wouldn't go as far as to say depressed.
I didn't say crying. I just said, you know.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that plays with your mind and just your confidence. And it wasn't necessarily the physical appearance of it. It was the physical limitations.
Yeah.
From, putting on some pants to tying your shoe to
Okay.
just going into the gym and having
Just
a
the simple
normal,
shit.
simple workout.
Wow.
And,
yeah, I could believe it, you know.
So it was that part that really was more fucking with me. And then
Okay.
at the time I was, I was still training clients.
Yeah.
So to train a client and then you have an arm that's kind of bum and you can't demonstrate and your motivation, you'd be like, well, I could show you, but not right now. So it'd be like, this is how you're supposed to do it. With my arm down, no, you're gonna use two arms,
Yeah.
but my arm's messed up, so this is why I'm doing it this way.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, I mean, is discouraging.
Yeah.
But I think it's like anything else with our bodies, eventually we kind of get over it.
Yeah.
So whether it's weight or it's a muscle or it's our hips or our butt or our stomachs.
Yeah.
There's a certain point where you kind of, either you're going to do something about it or you're just going to suffer with it.
Yeah.
So, even now it's not perfect, but it's not something that bothers me.
Yeah, I that 8 to 9 weeks from the pictures, because I still have all those old pictures and stuff like that in my external hard drive. It seemed like it's smoothed it out pretty good. Not completely like the way your other pec is, but it wasn't as rounded as it was before.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it was I just wasn't doing any bent, so it actually allowed the other side.
And I put yours with a lot of dumbbell chest press so we can strengthen both sides, and also letting you know maybe you're gonna have to do less on this one to even out this one and all those different things. That's how I wrote out your stuff for the programs. But I was also using your program to start building my first male physique category too. So from you, I was able to get the first 8 weeks.
Okay.
From that program. And then when I took the athlete to NSL, I was able to complete those last 4 weeks with him.
Nice.
And I was able to make that great body from, he was a state trooper, which we'll throw those pictures on so you can see what he looked like. And he almost got first, but the reason why he didn't, because he couldn't pose his back. So the other guy beat him, but otherwise he looked phenomenal.
That's a workout in itself, because I remember being in a couple of those posing classes, and it's a lot more work than what you think.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that when it comes to posing, when you see the competitors on film, they look so fluid and the muscles are just like, wow. Well, they're flexing and they've practiced so long that, that's why they look like Greek statues. But to the person that's never posed before, like when I get my posing clients, it is pretty hilarious at the beginning to see them, because they're like this, and then the arms, and then the legs, because they're not used to that, and that lactic acid builds up in there. And I'm like, this is the part where you got to hold it. We got to do these endurance rounds. So you start holding that pose, and then eventually you're just holding it and you're like that, instead of like this, So that was some awesome stuff. I got, like I said, the first 8 to 9 weeks of my male physique program working with you. So I really appreciate that part.
Oh yeah, likewise.
And let's see. Where are we gonna go on? Okay, so we already did the reality TV stuff and all that other things. Is there anything else you would like to input before we invite your guest?
Well, I guess there's really two things. I started a nonprofit that we're in the process of establishing.
Okay, tell us about it.
Veterans 44, and that's just a program where throughout the year, A lot of times we'll select 2 veterans and we'll help them through their fitness and their nutrition.
Oh, that's great.
The 2 that we helped last year went all the way to the point where we took them to a chiropractor that also was a nutritionist, so we got their blood work done, saw what all their deficiencies were.
Yeah.
So not just helping them just with the physical part, but also finding out more about our bodies. So I think a lot of that is, find out about your body so you know what to work on.
Yeah, and a lot of veterans, they suffer from PTSD real bad, so working out helps all those things. I was never a veteran, but I had a very horrible childhood, and I was a runaway at 15, so I lived on the streets for many years. So being attacked by people on the streets, cops, stuff like that, I have PTSD too, and so I suffered from a lot of depression, anger issues, alcoholism, drug abuse. I was using pain in order to help to cope. So I was tattooing. I mean, you can see I have my nose piercing. This back when I got this. I think I was 18 when I got this nose ring, and I tell you, fitness. Once I got into fitness, 2008 is when I got fit.
Okay.
I started in 2007. It alleviated my depression.
Yeah.
It alleviated my anger problems. It helped me quit cigarettes.
All right.
Alcohol slowed down my alcoholism, all that stuff. So I tell veterans all the time, if you would just lift weights, it would help you so much.
Give you that healthy, that outlet. And
yes,
sometimes,
where you get that negative energy out, and then afterwards you feel good. That serotonin level pops up, and you feel good about yourself, and you accomplish things and stuff. So yeah, I've trained a few veterans, and some of them have had their little lashing out episodes in my place, and I just put my foot down. I'm like, look, do you want me to go to your house and act like this? Well, no. I'm like, then don't act like this in my house. This is my house. This is my gym. I'm allowing you to be here, and I'm helping you. I'm here to help. So don't be trying to fight the person that's trying to help you.
Right.
But I've worked with them, and I don't blame them for having their issues. I mean, me too. I had it too, but lifting weights alleviated all that stuff. Even now, evil Candace will come out every now and then. I'm like, I'll just go and work out. And good Candace comes back.
Say, working out will set you free.
It totally does.
Yeah, so the nonprofit working with that. So that's everything from helping veterans, helping the homeless. We went and dropped
nice.
20, 30 bags during Christmas to the homeless.
That's great.
So, it's all just about helping and showing people that you care. And it's not necessarily always a money thing.
Yeah.
The majority of the time, it's just your time. Your time is more valuable than the money itself sometimes.
Exactly.
So working on that and training.
Nice.
Trying to get some Denzel money.
Denzel money. Hey, well, I'm sure you could do it.
But, training something out, it's not work. When you really have a passion for what you do.
I don't feel like I'm working, and I get these guys on my in my DMs, and they're like, when are we gonna go out and do all these things? I'm like, dude, I'm busy working. What am I gonna go out for? I don't like to drink that much. And then alcohol inhibits protein synthesis, so why am I gonna screw up my gains with alcohol? And then because I don't drink like I used to, dude, I get a hangover. It takes a whole day to recover. Why do I want to do that?
Yeah.
So, these guys, I'm like, that stuff doesn't appeal to me. So you're basically telling me, why don't you waste your time to pay attention to me, and then you have to go back, and that time I wasted, I have to go back and finish all that work, and it's backed up because I can't do that, man. I gotta work. I gotta take care of my people. And even though I guess to them I work a lot, it doesn't seem like work.
Right.
I love what I do.
Yeah. My thing is, if they show up and they're motivated, the very least I could do is point and tell you what to do and be motivated. And I don't know, but different trainers work differently. Yeah. But I like working with people who like to work out.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily to have to be good or well qualified and fit.
Of course.
But it's just a desire. If you got the desire to come in here and work your ass off.
If you're ready to change your life, I'm here to help.
Absolutely.
I tell people all the time, and it's funny because I guess they see my arms or whatever, oh no, I don't want to be like you. I'm like, don't worry. First off, this took
it's not contagious.
First off, this is almost 13, 14 years. So I got 14 years ahead of you, Second off, it's whatever your fitness goals are.
Right.
If you're just here to lose fat, that's what I'm
Then
here to
that's what
help
you're
you.
gonna do. Right.
Now, if one day you decide, and they always do, they always do. After they're like, oh no, I don't want to compete, I don't want to look like you. After I get them the fat loss and they start seeing the little muscles and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think I could compete? Anybody could compete. If you want to compete, I'll help you. And it doesn't matter what age. We have teen divisions all the way to 70. So
Oh yeah.
if you're in your golden years and all of a sudden you just feel like you want to get on stage, you can do it too. You just got to listen.
All things are possible with some practice.
Exactly. If you just put your mind to it, anything can happen.
Absolutely.
You know? So we have Terrance's guest, and her name is Candace too. Candace Bell. So we're gonna talk to Candace Bell for a minute with Terrance, and she's gonna tell us about her experience of training with Terrance Wright. We'll get back to you soon. Okay, so we are back, and we are here with Terrance Wright's client, Candace Bell. She's gonna tell us a little about herself, what got her into fitness, what made her decide to pick Terrance as her trainer, and amongst other questions that I'm gonna ask her. So we'll go ahead and start with the first one. Tell us a little about yourself, and let me open up my phone, sorry about that. Tell us a little about yourself, and when did you decide to change your lifestyle to a healthy one?
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am.
I used to be a former collegiate athlete.
Okay.
However, after I graduated, like many people, I kind of got in a slump, no longer had that routine.
Yeah.
So I picked up some unhealthy eating habits,
Some
a
Dr.
bit of
Peppers.
drinking, Dr. Pepper,
Dr.
low
Peppers,
Cokes
I heard
and
those are
such.
very addictive,
They're
Dr.
so
Peppers.
Good. They're so good. However, because of those poor habits that I had picked up, I gained some weight.
Yes.
And then I made the decision to try to take charge and not get back to my college years or that body, but
Yeah.
just a healthy body
Okay.
with my current age.
Okay.
And so I decided to find a trainer. We were heavy into the pandemic at that time.
Yes.
So I wanted someone that could help me virtually.
Yes.
And so I found Mr. Wright
Yes.
and his online program and got started with that.
Okay, nice. And how did you hear about his program or about Terrance?
I just Googled online.
Oh,
and
nice.
he has an online program, and that was perfect for me at that time.
Oh, okay, cool. So you have your online stuff on track where you just
Yeah.
come right up. That's good. That's good. All right. So what type of trainer would you describe him as?
Be nice.
Well, I would say first and foremost, he's very patient.
Good.
He's very motivating and helpful.
Yes.
He kind of meets you where you are.
Yeah.
If you, regardless of your fitness level or your goals, he has different variations of workouts and things that you can do.
Yes.
But he also pushes you to be better.
Good.
So he pushes you past what you think your
Your
limitations
comfort zone.
are. Exactly. And like, for example, I hadn't jump roped in years since I was a child. And we just started incorporating that into my workouts. And instead of just the standard jump rope, he's like, no, we're going to jump side to side. We're going to do one leg.
Yeah.
And he just puts you out there. He believes in you that you can do it.
Yeah.
And he pushes you. And now I'm a jump rope queen, I think.
Yeah, that is great,
Oh, yeah.
man. And jumping rope is a really good cardio. I
Yes,
mean,
I love
10
it.
minutes, it's 100 calories, so you don't even have to do that much.
Right.
Like on a machine, they're all mundane and stuff. And yeah, once you get those patterns in, and you can do the 4 square
Oh,
or the
yeah.
double jump and all that stuff, man, it's awesome,
It's been fun.
Awesome. So how long did it take for you to reach your goals with Terrance? And how much did you lose and all that stuff? And where, if you don't mind, where were you at?
So my journey continues to change. My goals continue to change
Okay.
all the time. However, when I first started, I was about 20 pounds heavier.
Okay.
And wanted to lose at least those 20 pounds.
Okay.
And so he created a workout for me. Like I said, we started off online. And it took about 3 to 4 months to reach that initial goal of losing the 20 pounds.
Okay.
After that, I was excited that I lost the weight, but then I wanted to put on some muscle.
Uh-oh.
So then we started,
Yeah.
he went back to the drawing board with some more ideas for me and
Yeah.
catered my nutritional plan as well,
Right.
and incorporated some shakes
Yeah.
and taught me how to eat better, to give up the Dr. Pepper.
You have to give it
I had
up.
to do it, but it's okay.
Yeah.
And so then I transitioned into another goal of putting on muscle. So then we put on 15 pounds back on of muscle.
Okay.
And now, like I said, my goals continue to change, and they're still changing. Now we're more in a maintenance zone now.
Yes.
So he continues to help me out. He needs to stick around to keep me focused.
I have clients like that too. They're like, you're never going to leave me because I need you here with me all the time. If you move, we're bringing you back. They're like all like that.
Exactly.
But like, I don't care where you move. They can't hire you. They can't have you.
Exactly.
My clients have been like that, you know. I'm like, hey, there's virtual. No, I want you here in my face. They're all like that. I'm like, hey, well, whatever, man. It's all good. So even though I've been waved down there in the valley, I've been able to do everything that I can do up here and still just come home because my clients take such good care of me, you know. It's a blessing to have them, but it's also because I take care of them, you know. Let's see. And so you're, like you said, you're still currently active, training, all stuff. Have you ever thought about competing?
I have not.
You could be a wellness competitor. You know what wellness is?
No.
It's bottom dominant bikini. So they have the big legs, big glutes, you know? Yeah.
Oh yeah, she definitely has some nice quads on there. We've been working on the glutes.
Yeah, well, like I mentioned earlier, I'm having my show in June on the 25th. All you really need is about 12 weeks to cut down, you know, for competition prep. So if you're interested in my show, it's down in the valley. But if you feel like you need a longer time to prep, my co-chair, my other partner, Ronnie Williams, his show is the Brazos River Showdown. That's October 1st. So that gives you enough time. And we're going to have posing clinics at Kinetics. So you could come in. We're going to do it for free. So you can see what the different categories are, what wellness posing is, bikini posing, and all that stuff. So we'll be announcing dates soon. You know, so we're going to have, I know definitely one during the spring before my show starts with Kinetics. And then we're going to do another one right before Ronnie's show. So there's going to be 2 different posing clinics that you guys are welcome to come in.
So we got time.
You know, you got plenty of time. Yeah. Yeah. And then you're right here in the hub, you know, where you can get posing and all that stuff. I could refer you to the right people so you're not like getting bamboozled by anybody and all that stuff like that, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And if I'm ever in the area and you want some posing or any tips from me, I can help you out too, you know?
Thank you.
All right. So do you often refer your friends, family, and acquaintances to Terrance?
All the time. Everybody I know, I brag on him all the time.
Yes.
My coworkers at work, my family members.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, he trains children. He trains, like I said, former athletes. He trains people just starting out.
Yeah.
You know? So I tell everybody, don't be afraid. You know, we have a boot camp. He has a boot camp that I go to.
Yes.
Like he said, I'm one of his day ones. I'm always there.
Yes.
Rain, sleet, snow. Always, I'm here. And I try to drag people with me.
Yeah.
Some people don't show up. Some people come, but I definitely refer him to everybody.
Nice. And that's, as trainers, that's what we need. I try to give my clients an incentive that if you refer me and they buy into my program, you get 10% of that sale taken off your next payment. So that's how I get, because I get a lot of clients that want to be codo with me, and codo means like they don't want to share me, you know? So that's how I give them that incentive, like, stop being codo and share me. I need more clients, you know, because some of them get a little territorial.
A lot of them get territorial.
They do. They don't want to
tell like, I don't want my other friends and family members working out with you.
Right. The good thing about his boot camp is every Saturday here at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And the great thing about the boot camp is, although it says boot camp and people think scary.
Yeah, I know.
Tough, we're like a family.
Yes.
So, you know, there are a small group of us, you know, some different people come every week, but there's a tight-knit group of us, and we support each other.
Good.
And we, you know, lift each other up, and we try to encourage each other, even when we're exhausted or we went out the night before. Or we're just now coming off the holiday.
Yeah.
We try to push each other to come in here.
That's good. That's good. And that's what people need, to feel welcome, to feel supported, because that's how they're going to reach their goals. You know, I've always been perplexed when there's those gyms where they like make people feel bad and bully them and pick at people for not being in shape, or even pick at people who are being in too much shape. I'm just like, why can't we just all get along and just work out? You know?
Congratulate them wherever they're at.
Yeah.
Whether they're getting there,
as long as
been
they're
there.
here. If they're out of shape, as long as they're here.
Yeah,
That's
we all are
lot.
here to do the same damn thing.
Exactly. So, is there anything else you would like to add in? Because that was my last question and stuff. Are you maybe considering becoming a trainer sometime or anything like that?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, he's the professional.
He's the
I'll leave that to
professional.
people like y'all.
Yeah.
No.
Cool. Anything else you would like to input?
If you're in the Houston area and you need a trainer, or if you want to come to a wonderful boot camp, Terrance can let us know a little bit more.
And what is this place called, Terrance?
So we're here in Houston, Texas, on the north side off of 45 at Legion's Training Complex. Here you can do amateur, professional boxing. We do fitness classes during the week, and we have a fitness boot camp. It's more like fitness class on a Saturday. I'm all over Houston. You can find me on Instagram, Terrance Wright, FitnessMax247. So.
Awesome. Well, that's the end of our podcast. Thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned for number 4. We're going to be having the female overall winner at my show, Clash at the Border, Maria Teo, and her coach, Jason Martinez. Thank you very much.